So no harshness on this person for not understanding of some of why this is a negative. Yeah, there's a bunch of slop out there and a bunch of AI slop that just could go and no one would miss it. But it's also about representation, and it's about some people having experiences that reflect who they are outside of the mainstream, and the worry being that those start in this current administration start being considered pornographic, right? Is being gay pornographic, is being non-binary pornographic, is being trans pornographic, right? And so that becomes the worry, is if those start being come labeled that way, all of a sudden we're going to see people who had games and experiences that represented them disappear. And that's a real concern, and that's a real fear, and that should be something that people should be concerned about, right? We kind of we yeah, straight guys who look like me, kind of ignore that this battle and this absolute war of disappearance on trans people in particular and non-binary continue, right? Like anytime anybody tells me they post on Twitter or still exist on Twitter, I'm just like, you are helping fund an attack on my friends. You are helping fund trying to erase them from existence, and fuck you. Like seriously, stop posting on Twitter. Oddly enough, the biggest people I see normalizing still being on Twitter are people who look like me. White straight guys, because hey, if your name is Greggy or Danny, yeah, just keep it going. What can happen? They're not coming for straight white guys. That poem never ends, and then they came for the straight white guys. So, I think that's why it's important, though. It's a little side rant there, but that's why it's important to care about these kind of things, because how we define pornography today and how we define it later is different, right? Already we're seeing this like in places like Florida, which have these horrendous laws. As Scott Galloway, the podcaster, said, nobody cares about the attack on trans people. Because that's what what's his face, the governor there, was doing. But of course, people do, and then they get ruled, unconstitutional eventually. But it's that continued attempt, that continued trying again and again and again, of like just their existence being attacked, being like I was going to link to it, and it's so hard to watch, of someone in the military who's got to leave the military because they're not allowed to represent our country anymore, right? And so that is an ongoing war that we just have normalized now and said that doesn't matter anymore. And I know you're not saying that with your comment here. You're talking about the weird stuff like the Mark Kerns of the world that want to masturbate to the latest Marvel update. Right? Like that's a whole weird creepiness thing versus people who are being represented and being able to see themselves reflected in games. And when we talk about this and we talk about this as art, that's a really important part of being art and being part of the culture. And so, yeah, that part of it, I think we need to be on top of and being paying attention to very carefully, and making sure that that's not being affected. But I mean, with this administration, who knows? And that's why you can't give them an inch. That's why you can't not resist them in every single place you can. One of the easiest ways you can is just quit Twitter.